You clean your toilet. You scrub the bowl until it's white again. And within a few days, that dark staining is back, those pink or black streaks running down from underneath the rim. You scrub them away again, and again they return. By now you've probably started wondering if something's wrong with your cleaning technique, your toilet, or your water. There's nothing wrong with any of those things. The reason that staining keeps coming back is that you've been cleaning the wrong location entirely. The spot you can see, while the actual source lives somewhere your brush can never reach. Once I show you where it truly lives, you'll understand exactly why it always came back, and you'll finally be able to stop it permanently. Here's what's actually happening, and once you understand it, the whole problem makes sense. That pink or black staining is mold and mildew, a living organism that thrives in wet, dark environments. And here's what nobody tells you. It isn't primarily growing in the bowl where you can see it. It's growing up inside the rim of the toilet, in a hollow cavity that runs all the way around underneath. When you flush, the water doesn't just fall straight down. It rushes through that hidden hollow channel encircling the entire rim, then exits through a row of small holes underneath, the jets that rinse the bowl. And it's up inside that dark, wet, hidden channel where the mold sets up permanent residence, somewhere no brush you own could ever physically reach. So every time you scrub the bowl, you're wiping away only what's dripped down to where you can see it. You never touch the actual colony living up inside the rim. Within days, it grows back down and stains the bowl all over again. You've been trimming the weed and never once reaching the root. Quick note before we go further. I'm Nomi Yoder, and the traditional household methods my family and I use, the kind I'm sharing today, run much deeper than any single video can cover. I've put together a more complete resource for anyone interested in the fuller version, and I'll link that below. Now, to truly stop this for good, you have to treat the mold exactly where it actually lives, up inside that rim channel. And the clever traditional approach isn't to attack it from below, where you simply can't reach, but from above, sending the cleaner in through the top, so it travels through the entire hidden channel and out through the jets, washing the mold right where it grows. And the cleaner for this job is the gentlest, plainest thing available, the one I keep coming back to because it consistently earns its place: plain white vinegar. Vinegar is a mild acid, and a mild acid is exactly what works against mold, mildew, and the hard water film they both cling to, with no harsh fumes and nothing you'd hesitate to have in the room with you. A jug costs $1 or $2. That's genuinely all you need. Here's how you reach the rim from above, and it's simpler than you'd expect. Lift the lid off the top of the toilet tank, the large back section that holds the water, and set it aside carefully somewhere safe, since it's heavy and can crack. Look inside the tank, and among the mechanisms you'll find an overflow tube, a hollow pipe or cylinder standing open at the top, there to carry away water if the tank ever overfills. Some are wide cylinders, others are narrower pipes, but every tank has one standing open. That open top is your entry point into the hidden rim channel, because the water feeding the rim runs down through exactly there. So anything you pour down it travels the exact same path the flush water takes, all around the rim and out through the jets. Take your white vinegar and pour it directly down into that overflow tube, a generous amount, close to half a jug for a wide cylinder, less for a narrow pipe, enough that you're confident it's run all the way through. Down it goes through the overflow, and into that hidden channel around the rim, washing through the very place the mold is actually growing, the exact spot your brush could never touch. Then let it sit, and the sitting is what actually does the work. Don't rush this part. Leave it for at least an hour, longer for a stubborn case. While the vinegar sits in that channel, it's working on the mold, loosening its grip all around the rim. During this time, don't flush. Obviously, it needs to stay up in the channel and continue working. After it's sat for an hour or more, flush the toilet. That pushes the vinegar through and out the jets, carrying the loosened mold down with it. Then, do your normal cleaning of the bowl, scrubbing as you always would. But now, when you scrub, you're catching only the last remnants of it, instead of fighting something that keeps regenerating, because you've already struck it at its root, up inside the rim. Scrub the bowl, scrub up under the rim, as far as your brush can reach, and flush it clean. Now, here's the honest truth that actually makes this work long-term, and I won't leave it out because it matters. One treatment knocks the mold back significantly, But mold is a living organism, and it will keep trying to return to a place that stays wet and dark, which a toilet rim always will be. So this isn't a one-time forever cure you do once and never think about again. It's something you do now to clear out the deep-seated growth, and then repeat periodically to keep it cleared out every few weeks or once a month. And here's the genuinely good news in that, done on a regular schedule like that, it stops coming back entirely because you never let it build back up to the point where it stains the bowl again. The first treatment breaks the worst of it. The steady habit keeps it gone permanently. Work it into your regular cleaning routine periodically, and the staining you fought for years simply stops returning. Let me give you a couple of practical tips to make this even more effective. For a bad, long-standing case, you can repeat the rim treatment 2 or 3 times over a few days at first to really clear out the deep-seated growth before settling into the once-a-month maintenance routine. And while the vinegar is working up top, you can also pour a little directly into the bowl and let it sit against the waterline ring, where hard water deposits and mildew both tend to accumulate, treating what's visible and what's hidden at the same time. If your water is hard, that vinegar is doing double duty, cutting through mineral scale along with the mold, since scale actually gives mold a rough surface to grip onto, and clearing it away helps prevent mold from resettling. Here's something worth understanding because it's really the heart of why this approach works when scrubbing alone never did. There's an old piece of wisdom that with any recurring stain or pest problem, you have to ask where the thing actually lives, not just where it shows up. The mark on the bowl is only where the mold becomes visible. Up in the rim is where it actually lives. An ant on the counter is only where it shows up. The nest is where it lives. Treat the visible symptom, and it returns. Treat the actual source, and it ends for good. That's really the whole philosophy behind good household maintenance, looking past the part you can see to the part actually causing it. That's exactly what's happening here. You stopped scrubbing the visible stain and went up into the rim where it actually lived, and that's precisely why it finally stops returning. Once you learn to ask where a problem truly originates, half of household maintenance becomes dramatically simpler because you stop fighting the same battle repeatedly at the wrong end of it. One practical safety note, since we're pouring things and lifting lids here. Vinegar is gentle and safe, no fumes to worry about, which is exactly its appeal. But mind this one rule that applies to vinegar and any acid-based cleaner. Never mix it with bleach or with any bowl cleaner containing bleach, since acid and bleach combined produce a genuinely harmful gas. So if you've been using a bleach-based cleaner in that toilet, flush it thoroughly with plain water first and let the vinegar work entirely on its own. Nothing else mixed in with it. And set that heavy tank lid down carefully somewhere it won't get knocked over or broken, then replace it squarely when you're finished. Now take a moment to think about why nobody ever taught you this. Why you've spent years scrubbing the bowl and buying bottle after bottle of toilet cleaner for a problem that kept coming back regardless. There's a great deal of money in toilet bowl cleaner, the bottles, the tablets, the brushes, purchased over and over precisely because the problem keeps returning. Because every single one of those products treats the bowl you can see and never touches the rim channel, where the mold actually lives. A problem that keeps coming back is a problem that keeps you buying. And there's no profit whatsoever in telling you to pour $1 worth of vinegar down the overflow tube once a month and be done with it permanently. So the bowl cleaners get the shelf space and the advertising, and the simple trick of reaching the rim from above, the thing that actually solves it, never gets mentioned. I'm not suggesting there's some deliberate scheme behind this. It's the same quiet pattern as always. An entire row of bottles grew up around a problem that a little vinegar and some basic knowledge about where the mold really lives could solve outright. And that knowledge simply stopped getting passed along because nobody profits from sharing it. This particular trick isn't even old, since the modern toilet itself isn't old. But the underlying principle is as old as anything, that you treat a problem at its root, not at the part you can see. Somewhere along the way, we lost the habit of looking for the root and learned instead to scrub the same stain indefinitely and buy another bottle when that failed. The fix is $1 worth of vinegar and an hour of patience once a month. Lift the tank lid, pour the vinegar down the overflow, let it sit, and work through the hidden rim channel. Flush it through, clean the bowl, and repeat periodically to keep it cleared. That's the entire process, and it ends something you've fought for years. So here's what I'd ask of you. Try this on your own toilet, the vinegar down the overflow, the hour of sitting, and then come back and tell me in the comments whether that staining finally stopped returning the way it always had before. I want to hear that it finally stayed gone. And while you're there, let me know where you're from and how old your house is, because older homes tend to have older plumbing, harder water, and the kind of dampness mold loves. I learned something from every single comment about how this works depending on where people live. I read them all. Next time, I'll show you how to handle that hard water ring that sets right at the waterline and refuses to scrub off, along with the gentle overnight method that lifts it clean away, so you'll have the complete picture for keeping a toilet bright using just a few cheap ingredients and no harsh fumes. There's a proper, old-fashioned way to keep a whole bathroom clean that runs on vinegar, patience, and a bit of know-how, and most of it is far simpler than you'd ever guess. But today, you start with the rim. Lift the lid, pour the vinegar down the overflow tube, let it sit its hour, and work through the hidden channel where the mold has been hiding from your brush all along. Flush it through, clean the bowl, and make it a monthly habit. Watch that stain you've fought for years finally stop coming back, and understand, at last, that you were never cleaning wrong. You were only ever cleaning the wrong spot, the one you could see, instead of the one where the problem actually lived.